For 13 years, I've been a small-town cop in southern Ohio. Out here, things are usually quiet. Everyone knows everyone, and the biggest problems are speeding tickets, drunk drivers, or teenagers sneaking into old barns. I always thought being a cop here would be safe compared to the big cities. I was wrong. There's one case that still keeps me awake at night. A case so strange, so chilling, that no matter how many reports I filed, it never felt like it was over. It was late October, the kind of night where the fog rolls in and covers everything like a blanket. I was finishing paperwork at the station when dispatch picked up a call. The voice on the other end was shaky, like a child, maybe a teenager. All they said was, "He's coming back. Please, hurry." Before dispatch could ask questions, the line went dead. Caller ID traced it to an abandoned farmhouse on the outskirts of town. Now, we all knew that place. The Miller farm. The family had vanished almost 20 years ago without a trace. Some said they moved out west. Others whispered something darker. The farmhouse had been left to rot, broken windows, collapsing roof, weeds taller than a man. Nobody went near it. Still, a call was a call. I radioed my partner, Officer Daniels, and we drove out there. The place was worse than I remembered. The porch sagged under our weight, and the front door was wide open. Inside, the air smelled of mold, dust, and something sharp, like iron. "Probably some kids messing with us," Daniels muttered, flashlight cutting through the dark. I wanted to believe him. But my gut told me otherwise. Upstairs, the floorboards creaked. We split up. Daniels took the second floor, I went toward the basement door. It was cold down there. My flashlight beam shook as I scanned the stone walls. Old farming tools lay scattered, rusted with time. Then I noticed something carved into the wall. Words scratched deep into the stone. "He waits in the dark. He wears no face." I froze. That's when I heard Daniels scream. I sprinted upstairs, gun drawn. His flashlight was rolling on the floor outside a bedroom door. Inside, the room was empty, except for something written on the dust-covered window with a finger. 13 years. Daniels was gone. Vanished. No sound, no struggle, just gone. I radioed for backup, but the line was filled with static. My chest tightened as a shadow moved in the corner of my eye. When I turned, I swear I saw a figure, tall, pale, featureless. It stood for just a second before melting into the darkness. I stumbled out of the house, shaking. No Daniels. No sign of a struggle. Just the silence of the night swallowing me whole. The backup arrived an hour later. We searched every inch of that house, the barn, and the fields around it. Daniels was never found. The official report listed him as missing in action. But I know what I saw. And to this day, I can't stop asking myself the same question. Who made that call, and why were they waiting for us? It's been 13 years since that night at the Miller farm. 13 years since Officer Daniels vanished in front of my eyes. Most people in town don't talk about it anymore. The official record says Daniels went missing during a routine check of an abandoned property. Nothing more. But I know the truth, or at least, part of it. And the truth is far worse. For years, I kept dreaming about that house. Always the same dream. I'd be back in the basement, staring at those words carved into the wall. He waits in the dark. He wears no face. And then, a shadow would crawl out of the corner, stretching taller and taller, until it swallowed me whole. I tried to bury the case. Transferred to traffic duty, worked night shifts, kept to myself. But no matter what, I couldn't shake the feeling that something, or someone, was watching me. Then, last winter, I got another call. Different voice this time, but the same address. The Miller farm. I almost ignored it. Part of me wanted to pretend it never happened. But another part, the cop in me, knew I couldn't. I drove out alone. The farmhouse looked even worse than before, leaning like it might collapse under the weight of its own secrets. But as I stepped inside, I realized something had changed. The dust, the rot, it was all disturbed. Someone had been living there. In the kitchen, I found a small cot, empty food wrappers, and a diary. The entries were frantic, almost childlike. He doesn't let me leave. He feeds on fear. 13 years, 13 years. The last entry made my blood run cold. He wants a trade. He wants the one who came before. I heard footsteps upstairs. Slow, deliberate. My hand shook as I raised my gun and climbed the staircase. At the top, I saw him. Daniels. Or at least, what was left of him. He was older, thinner, eyes sunken deep into his skull. His lips trembled as he whispered, "You shouldn't have come back." Before I could respond, a shadow unfurled behind him, tall, faceless, the same thing I saw 13 years ago. Daniels screamed as it wrapped around him like smoke, dragging him into the dark corner of the room. I fired my weapon, but the bullets passed through like mist. The shadow turned toward me, and though it had no eyes, I felt it staring straight into my soul. My legs gave out. The world turned black. When I woke, it was morning. Sunlight streamed through the broken windows. The house was empty, no Daniels, no shadow, nothing but silence. I filed the report like last time, but no one believed me. Another missing officer. Another mystery in a forgotten town. But I believe there's a reason I survived. That thing, it feeds on fear, but it also teaches a lesson. Maybe it keeps me alive to spread the warning. Because evil isn't always a man with a gun or a thief in the night. Sometimes, it's the silence, the darkness, the things we pretend not to see. And maybe that's the real curse of the Miller farm. Not that it takes people, but that it forces us to remember that even in the quietest towns, evil can wait just beyond the light. Moral of the story. Fear ignored only grows stronger. Sometimes, the real danger isn't what's out there in the dark, it's refusing to face it.